everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Yeah, welcome back.
Today, we're going to be diving into a whole bunch of tech news from December 24th, 2024.
That's right.
Courtesy of the fantastic folks over at TechViews 10X, who always do a fantastic job of curating
Absolutely.
really, really interesting and important stuff.
Yeah, so much going on.
And we're going to try to quickly get you up to speed on all of it so that you can be, the life of the party.
The most informed at the holiday gathering.
That's right. Or, just stay ahead of the curve in your work or your personal life.
Yeah. And we're going to be looking not just at what happened, just the headlines, but what it actually means.
Yeah, exactly. The why.
Why does this matter, and how does it fit into, kind of the larger picture of the trends that are going on?
The big picture.
The big picture, yeah. And I think you might be surprised by some of the things that we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first up, we have a pretty interesting story about the PC market.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, ISoftStone, which is a Chinese company that most people probably haven't heard of before.
Yeah, I hadn't.
Yeah, they just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And released the world's first Qualcomm-powered PC.
That's wild.
I know, it's pretty wild. It's called the QS1 Pro.
Catchy name.
Yeah, and it's running Windows 11 Pro. It has Wi-Fi 7 capabilities. It can have up to a 2 terabyte SSD.
Yeah.
Which is, pretty beefy.
Those are impressive specs, especially for, a first product from a company that most people haven't even heard of.
Yeah, and so this is really interesting, I think, because, ISoftStone is now kind of positioned to potentially become a major player in the Chinese PC market.
Oh, absolutely. And, the Chinese PC market is huge.
It's gigantic.
Like, they could potentially be bigger than HP or even Apple.
Yeah, it's really wild to think about. Could they actually become bigger than some of these, established giants?
It's possible. And, that could have ripple effects throughout the whole tech world.
Yeah, could they become, the next big global PC brand? It's really interesting to think about.
Yeah. What do you think? Let us know down in the comments. Do you think ISoftStone has what it takes to become the next big thing?
Yeah, is this the beginning of their meteoric rise, or is it just a flash in the pan?
A flash in the pan, yeah.
Only time will tell, but we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on them.
Absolutely.
So moving on from the PC world, let's talk a little bit about AI, which is, as always, a very hot topic.
Always.
So Grok has just launched its mobile app, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this.
Yeah, me too. But there are already some concerns about safety.
Yeah, that's the thing with AI, right? It's moving so fast. And sometimes the safety measures, they just can't keep up.
Yeah, it's a little bit unnerving.
It is. It's, it raises some serious questions about how we develop and deploy AI ethically.
Yeah. How do we ensure that it's being used responsibly?
Exactly. We need to have these conversations now because AI is only going to become more and more integrated into our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
And, the stakes are only going to get higher.
That's a great point. And speaking of AI integration, there's actually a rumor going around that Chrome might be getting a massive AI upgrade soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can you imagine that, like, your browser is basically your own personal AI assistant?
That would be wild.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how we interact with information now.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, AI could totally revolutionize our browsing experience.
Totally. Okay, so I want everyone to let us know in the comments, what would you want that to look like?
Yeah, what features would you be excited about?
And what would you be worried about?
Yeah, what are your hopes and fears for the AI-powered Chrome browser of the future?
Yeah, and, while we're on the subject of AI, I just have to share this little tidbit.
Okay. So,
Beyonce, Queen Bey herself.
Of course.
She actually made a Netflix joke recently. Yeah, it was pretty clever. It just goes to show, how much tech is infiltrating every aspect of our lives.
Even celebrity humor.
Even celebrity humor, exactly.
That's awesome.
I know. Okay, so let's move on to some hardware news.
Okay.
So this one actually really surprised me. Intel's Arc B580 GPU has been blowing people away with its performance in content creation tasks.
I know. I was really impressed with the benchmarks.
Yeah, like who would have thought that Intel would be a serious contender in the GPU market?
Right. They're usually known for their CPUs.
Exactly. But there's a catch.
There's always a catch.
There have been reports of some pretty significant driver issues.
Yeah. And that's a big deal because driver issues can really impact your user experience.
Totally. Even if you have like the most powerful hardware in the world, if the software isn't working properly,
it's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter at all. So, fingers crossed that Intel can iron out those kinks.
Yeah, hopefully they can get those drivers sorted out.
Yeah, because the potential is definitely there.
For sure.
Okay, so speaking of software, there's some exciting news for all the open source fans out there.
Oh, yeah.
GIMP 3.0 has finally been released.
After 20 years.
After 20 years, can you believe it?
That's a long time to wait.
I know, it's crazy. But it sounds like it was worth the wait.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's a major upgrade.
Yeah, there's high-resolution compatibility, tons of improvements, all sorts of goodies.
It's a big win for open source software.
Huge win. Okay, so unfortunately, not all of the software news is quite so positive.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it turns out that some popular WordPress plugins were recently found to have some pretty serious security flaws.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, AI development service Builder.ai had a data exposure incident that affected millions of users.
Oof. Yeah, that's a big one.
I know. So, yeah, this is just a reminder that cybersecurity and data protection are more important than ever.
Absolutely. We all need to be taking steps to protect ourselves online.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some business news.
Okay.
So Xerox has just acquired Lexmark for a whopping $1.5 billion.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and apparently they're hoping to use this acquisition to challenge HP's dominance in the U.S. printer market.
Interesting. So we could be seeing a printer war brewing.
Maybe. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Is this a good move for Xerox?
Yeah. Is this going to be a successful strategy for them, or is HP just too big to take down?
Yeah, and speaking of competition, Netflix is making some big moves in the streaming world.
Yeah, they've got some interesting stuff coming up.
They do. So they just released a teaser for their new series called 0 Day.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah, and guess who's starring in it?
Who?
Robert De Niro.
No way.
Yes way. And it's actually his first ever TV series role.
That's pretty huge for Netflix.
I know. I'm definitely going to be watching that.
Me too. But you know what's interesting is that behind the scenes, Netflix is actually suing VMware over virtual machine patents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so even in the fast-paced world of tech, legal disputes can really have a big impact.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Okay, so let's wrap things up with a couple of stories that are kind of on the edge of tech.
Okay, I love these kind of out-there stories.
Me too. So a Russian hosting firm is sending servers to the South Pole.
What?
Yeah, you heard that right.
Yeah.
They're going to be testing them in extreme conditions.
That's crazy, but also kind of awesome.
I know. It's a really cool example of how far people are willing to go to push the boundaries of technology.
Absolutely. And speaking of pushing boundaries, AI educators are starting to be integrated into schools.
Yeah, that's right. So, it really makes you wonder what's next.
I know the possibilities are endless.
So what do you think about all this?
It's a lot to process.
I know it's been a wild ride.
But it's so exciting to see how quickly the tech world is evolving.
Absolutely. And we want to hear your thoughts. So be sure to leave a comment down below and tell us what you think about all of these stories.
Yeah, and let us know what you're most excited about or worried about when it comes to the future of tech.
And of course, if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share with all your friends.
Yeah, spread the tech knowledge.
Exactly. We'll be back soon with more deep dives into the fascinating world of technology. But until then, stay curious.
Stay curious.
See ya.
Bye.